I've been receiving a lot of questions, and these questions are related to US election, and especially if the Democratic Party under Joe Biden, Kamala Harris wins the election. And we all know that up to this moment, there is a higher possibility of Joe Biden to win the election. I know there will be so many legal battles in the Supreme Court, but no matter the situation, let's take the assumption Joe Biden, Kamala Harris are in the White House. What are the immigration changes we'll be able to see? That is the question people want to answer. And there are facts, which there are things they will be able to do. There are things they will not be able to do. So I want to make sure you understand some of these kind of things, which a president can do right away before things to go to the Congress, whether to be in the House or to go to the Senate, then to go to the president to be able to change. Welcome everyone, this is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM. In case today is your first time to come here, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and be in a position to share the videos with other people. So, two things people have to understand. There are two major political parties in the US, and these political parties have bigger differences in so many things. One of the things which they differ is how they deal with immigration, because this channel is talking much about immigration, education, opportunities, because we are trying to find what are the legal ways on one can immigrate to another country and be able to succeed. And now today we are talking about the US immigration system, green card lottery. We are talking about so many other things. Previously, we already mentioned other videos, the status of the green card lottery, whether it's going to be closed, cancelled, whatever. So this US election is one among the determining factor for status of the DV lottery, immigration suspension, travel ban, and all other kind of things. But before I go there, I don't want to give you a false hope about people exaggerating certain things, thinking that when one party is in power, they will be able to do crazy things. Like, I'm giving an example. Today they say, okay, all we want to 20,000 Tanzanians become American citizens. They are not going to do the crazy things. There are certain laws, procedures, regulations have to be followed on certain things. So, as I said, these two political parties have the bigger differences. There is the issue of gay marriage. There is the issue about abortion. Those are the major two differences between the two parts. One being conservative as Republican, another one being as liberal as the Democratic Party. So those are the major differences. Other things they come to discuss about the issue of war, the issue about the issue of immigration. So I want to talk about immigration a little bit. So when it comes to the immigration, we all know that the Democratic Party is in favor of what they call open door policy. That means they encourage many people to come. Or even if you come here on not illegal ways, they are trying to find ways you cannot be deported, you cannot be just make it the easier path on certain things. Though on the deportation party, it will be a different story. I will come to explain about that one. But on the other side, I want to explain is when it comes to Republican, most of them, all the Republican presidents, they are in favor of immigration as long as it is legal. If it is not legal, if you are illegal, that is the problem is coming. But people confusing when it comes to maybe Trump, George Bush, Carter, whatever those, Reagan and the other, all those who were Republican, the assumption which people we all know that, or we are told over and over is, if Republican is in power, obviously all immigrants are in trouble. No, are you legal or you are illegal? That is the point which is here. And I don't want to come here to preach that, okay, which president is better, the other one is not better. That is not the position of this one. But so let's go straight to what are the changes we'll be able to see, the benefits, the advantages for immigrants once Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are in the White House. So there are a few things. Number one is the status of the green card lottery. Donald Trump or Republican for few years, especially since he got in power from November 2017, I think, after he made the first statement about the green card lottery. And this year, we are in the jeopardy. Will green card lottery be there or not be there? And I made the video when he explained about his intention and the procedural plan to introduce the merit-based immigration system. So that is number one. So if merit-based immigration system was going to be introduced, that means there will be a cancellation of the random selection of the DV lottery. So it will be immigration system like Canada. So if Joe Biden wins the election, obviously they are not going to change that one. That is for sure. Down the road, they might create another path for lottery. They might maybe reduce the number from 50,000 to a certain number and open up the merit-based. That is what I'm thinking about. But I do not know. But the green card lottery will not be closed because majority of Democrats are in favor of the DV lottery to continue to be the same as it is. Plus, what they call chain migration, which the current president is not in favor of, is favored on the other party. For those who do not know the chain immigration, this is the chain immigration looks like. For instance, I came here as a student, now I'm an American citizen. I can bring my mother, I can bring my father. They can come here get a green card. If they come here get a green card, they can bring their children as long as they're under the age of 21 and they're married right away. Then those children, if they're above 21, there is a longer time to wait, but they will come here. If they get married, they come here. Then those people, they can bring their parents. So it is a chain. Excuse me. So that is what we call chain migration. So Democrats, they have no problem with that. So that will continue to be there. So when we talk about what things will be, what I call benefit, number one is the green card lottery will continue to be there. The chain migration, they will not be able to change to say that, okay, we'll be limiting only to father, mother, and children, and those that cannot bring another person, they cannot be able to do that. So that's number one. The second part, which will be critical, very early, they'll be able to do, is the issue of immigration suspension. I know the immigration suspension has been into basically on the economic part of it. So there are two presidential executive order. One was in April 22nd and another one came in June 24th, if not mistaken. The first one was only about immigrant visas, but when they brought this on June, after 60 days, they brought what they call immigrant, non-immigrant visas. So most likely there are so many types of visas which are related to the work visas, like H1 visa, some of the J1 visas, L visas, whatever. There are so many visa types. They were restricted. So that right away will be able to be revoked, or the new president will be able to take it out. Reason why is that I'm confident about that. Remember, there is even a lawsuit from Google, Apple, or other big tech companies because they have so many employees who are from other countries, especially from India, from China, and from other countries who are in H1. So that will be able to bring them to continue with their work permit and to continue to work. So the immigration suspension, which was supposed to be ending by January, but because the president is going to be able to swear in, the new president is supposed to swear in, usually it's January 20, I think. So by December, President Trump has to make a decision whether it's going to extend or not to extend. So even if he's not going to extend, that means it will be able to go over immigration suspension. But if we extend, the new president will come to that point and make assessment and just remove that suspension immediately by the beginning of the year. So that will be something they are going to end the suspension of the visas. Then there is the issue of travel ban. So travel ban is a little bit tricky. Travel ban is related to, there are certain Department of Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security, they have certain ways they explain why they decided to make a travel ban for Tanzania, because currently there are 13 countries. Why they decided to go to put a travel ban for Sudan or Nigeria. So there are those kind of reason. But the stand of Democratic Party is very clear that there is no need to put all these travel ban, and they call those racist against Muslims, against whatever, against immigration, against whatever. So for that particular stand, they might end up going to remove all of these 13 countries on the travel ban. If they're not going to remove all 13, but they might going to remove right away at least 6 to 8 out of them quickly. And then they are going to evaluate other countries. The countries they might go to evaluate will be maybe like Syria, because of the other relationship with the country. Yes, there are certain reasons beyond just the friendship or other things. So for instance, one of the things, for instance, in Sudan and Tanzania, why they're in the travel ban, they are saying there are certain kind of information sharing. Like if someone loses a passport, when you report it to police, that information must be sent to Interpol and US government, so that they can be able to track if someone else uses your passport, your identity, to go to conduct something which is not a good thing, will be crime or things of that nature. So that is one of the reason. Or if there are some sort of people who are in terrorism or something like that, you have to also to inform the certain these are kind of the agreements they have. So there are kind of those kind of like, so if you are abiding to those ones, they're going to remove right away. But there are those kind of things they have to talk with other governments to remove them, or the Department of Homeland Security will determine. And remember, the determination sometimes is depending more about who is president in power. For instance, if I'm president and you are my advisor, you know my stand about maybe immigration. So obviously you advise me, but sometimes if you want me to accept your advice, you might put on what my thinking is. Because I'm going to appoint people who will be able to advise basing on what I call my chain of thought. So if you are going to hire someone, for instance, while Obama is in power, is going to appoint someone to be Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security or Secretary of the Department of State, obviously you are going to appoint someone you know you are aligning in terms of the foreign policy, in terms of the domestic policies, in terms of immigration. So obviously you'll bring someone who will not go to put a travel ban if you are Democratic. If you're Republican, you can put someone who can be having the same mindset or stand like you are. So no matter what, the travel ban will go away. Not like it's within the first 90 days. It can be within the first 2 to 5 months. They will be able to end all these kind of things. The immigration suspension of people coming from certain countries, the countries which have higher rate of coronavirus, that will be a different story, because those reasons are going to be determined by CDC. Like CDC is not political, so we suggest like maybe citizens of country A, country B, because in this month they have higher rates of COVID. So let's not allow these people coming from here, or they have to go to another country. They have to stay for 14 days to come direct to US. So those will be the few things they'll be able to trick here and there. So what things they will not be able to do? So people, I want to make sure people understand. It doesn't mean that when Democratic Party, Kamala Harris is vice president, Joe Biden is the president, doesn't mean that, okay, now I can go to the US embassy and ask for the visa. I'm going to the birthday of EBM. No, they're not going to give you the visa just to come to my birthday. They're not going to give you the visa. Still, the procedures to go to the US embassy, if you're a student, you must have the admission. You must show the bank statement or scholarship admission, scholarship letter. All those things are the same. They don't change because the president is Republican or Democratic. They change when there are serious issues in security. For instance, before the situation in 1998, the bombing of U.S. Embassy in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and Nairobi in Kenya, the visas were in different ways. From there, they changed in certain ways, but after 9/11, there are so many things have been changed into giving the visas. So those ones, they don't matter who is the president. The foreign service officers, the consular officers, they're implementing the policies which are given. So whether the consular is Democratic or Republican, they will give the visas basing on the procedures which are given there. So if there is a procedure like don't issue the visas because of the travel ban, they are not going to do that. If there's no travel ban, they'll give you the visa. So those people are professional. They are supposed to be following the policies and the immigration laws which are given to them. So regardless, so don't assume that, okay, now we'll be able to go and do that. There are a few things they might be able to change. I don't know, they might decide to change the, one of the things which was introduced in the Trump administration is the, what is that, the public charge, which it has been, it went to the court, later it was removed, bring back, all those kind of things which are there. So the public charge, to my opinion, they might remove it. Because if you look about the public charge, it is very difficult for a normal bachelor degree graduate, or just you graduate, you finish bachelor degree, you have master's degree, and to prove that you can be able to survive in the United States of America without asking public support. So that will be difficult for people to get visas. And if you just finish high school and you win the green card lottery, how are you going to prove that? So even if you say you have this farm, they know for sure it's not yours for your age, and especially coming from developing countries. So there are few things they'll be able to change, because most of the Democratic Congress men and women, they were against that. But it was passed. So they might remove the public charge. That is something I know it will be able to change, because Democratic, they have no problem to give public charge, public support, or the benefits to minorities or people with the low income. So for them, food stamp, everything is the main feature of Democratic Party. So that is something we'll be able to change. So if you are looking about how are you going to benefit with the Biden Kamala administration, those are the things will be able to happen. And in case, because there are, as I said, there are still few states haven't been given their final vote, and there will be Supreme Court decision if Trump continues to be in power. So the immigration will continue to be the same. The green card lottery will be able to change to be introduced the merit-based immigration. Then the suspension will be determined at that time. But for the economy, how it's going very well. So by December, they will be able to end the suspension. Travel ban will continue to be there. So those are the few things I want to make sure that we understand each administration. What are you going to benefit from those one? Personal, it doesn't affect me much whether Trump or Biden becomes the president. As a citizen, the local, my mayor, councilmen are very important, and the governors of the local state, because most of the laws which affect me, they are in my city, local government, and also the state level have bigger impact to me than the federal. Me as a citizen. But for many people, I'm talking for other people who are planning to come here. So the federal and the international policies or the immigration laws, they have impacted to many people. That's why I give you all these kind of things. Thank you so much. All the best, everyone.